Never know what he's doing, right? How you guys doing tonight, man? Happy Tuesday to you as always. Uh, he's putting rabbit ears. I guess I got to turn his phone down over here. He doesn't do that. But yeah, I never know what he's doing. You putting antennas on? Antennas? What are you doing?
Casting a spell.
um,
JP spell.
we actually got to do a little bit of flying on Saturday, even though it was hot and we were working
great.
and stuff like that. And guy got sick at the field and
Barf chunks.
That wasn't good.
That was gross.
But yeah, man, we were in the corn a little bit. We did a little bit all of it, but all in all, it was good. Grass was really too high for
we had that conversation.
Yeah, so grass is going to get cut, and
the little jet wheels don't run well in 3-inch grade.
Well, we were also at 2,000 air density.
Yeah, it was at 2,000 feet at the temperature it was.
Yeah,
and it was
thick.
Well, the Hawk didn't get off the ground, did it?
No, my
you went all the way down and all the way back and all the way down.
Yeah, yep. So tried, but we
fun,
flew stuff with tail draggers and bigger tires. It was nice. What we did fly, it was nice. It was a good day just to be there.
I haven't been in 3 months.
Wasn't windy for a change.
Told you, as soon as it gets hot, there ain't gonna be no wind.
Yeah, and then when you got 8 foot of corn all around you, it's like you're in a box.
I can fart cooler than the outside air.
I'm telling you, man, it was bad.
It was hot.
But all in all, it was good. We had a good time just hanging out with the guys and doing some work and stuff like that.
That throw up though. Oh, I was just getting ready to take off, and then I heard somebody.
Yeah.
And then I heard, "You all right?" And then
yeah.
I could see ham and pineapple and anchovies.
It was not good.
There was some sausage in there, some Biscuitville. I don't know. It was nasty. And then everybody's all just going like this.
Yeah.
Running.
Bad. But we were worried about him having a heat stroke because he's an older gentleman. So
he hadn't done anything. He was under the shade. He hasn't been in the sun.
Well, but
it could have been. We didn't know what he's done before. He got there.
And he might not be that healthy. I don't know.
I don't think that's the case. But whatever. He just got in his car and left.
I did maiden the A10. That was pretty good. I only got one flight on it though because I landed a little bit hard on the nose wheel, and the little strut that goes behind the nose wheel popped out. So I got to put that back in. But other than that, that was it. Took a hard bounce, but so it tells you how stout the gear are on it, I guess. But it flew great. I only had to do a little bit of trim on the right aileron, a little bit of elevator, and other than that, it was good. You missed it. I don't know where you were.
I don't know. I'm going, well,
I still
when are you going to fly it? And he already flew it. And I go, well,
yeah,
must have been a drug deal in the parking lot or something. I
don't know where he was. But with that, guys, as you well saw in the premiere, if you saw it today, we've got an awesome guest here tonight.
Bring him in here because he's chomping at the bit.
Team pilot. He is also an amazing builder. And I say a comedian because he's a funny guy.
I like the socks.
He does a lot of cool stuff.
Socks on the ears.
Yeah. If you don't know what to do with your socks, just put them under your hat and let them hang down. Anyway.
Absolutely.
But without further ado, we're going to bring in Mr. PJ Ash. You guys give him a great welcome. What's up, buddy?
Hey!
Where's the
well,
socks?
I was back in the back, and I'm excited about after this eating some popcorn. But after the throw up and throwing chunk stuff, thanks,
well,
guys.
Wayne likes to get a little bit vivid there.
If you've ever been around anybody that's throwing up,
oh yeah.
I mean, you think they're done, and then all of a sudden, more, and more, and then I go, man, he's gonna puke up a lung, man, if this guy doesn't. I mean, it was just bad. I don't know what he had. He could have been sick before he came, but he didn't look good. He looked sheet white. You know how you get the no color.
That's why I said we were worried about him having a heat stroke because he's an older gentleman.
Well, he got home.
But
we just put caution tape all around it. Rest in peace.
Nobody wanted to touch it. It's been sitting there cooking now. So
I didn't take any samples.
They were rinsing it down with buckets of water.
Oh, it was horrible. And then that smell, the heat. It's just nasty.
Okay, that's enough.
Enough.
So how have you been, man?
All right, guys. Good night. It was good.
Yeah, really, yeah. How you been, man?
I've been good. Yeah, it's been hot. It's definitely been hot.
And you're out in Arkansas, which is hot anyway, probably.
Yeah, I wake up every morning. I'm scared that I died and went to hell. And that's
do you have the humidity there though that we have here?
Oh well, I mean, we have a lot of humidity. Yeah, I mean, I've sweat in places I didn't even know you could sweat. There. You don't even think about that.
It makes a pig sweat back there.
I mean, it's like I went to an event, as you guys know, last weekend up in Memphis, and it was really good. But to be honest with you,
you took it all home, didn't you?
Well, I took a little bit of plastic home with me. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were worried the trophies were going to melt getting him to the truck. Oh, y'all just saw Piper.
Yeah.
Wow.
In fact, I was going to shut the door, but she'll just sit out there and whine. So we're in my office because we had pretty bad coverage in the workshop last time. I think we had a thunderstorm too, and that was like we were having a conversation and like, the finger of God was outside.
That's right.
So,
Yeah,
but yeah, it was. I was. But go back to that. I was actually. I went through 3 shirts a day.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, she's showing you how strong she is back there. Look at her. Look at her.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, she's at least 8. She's not the smartest, but at least she's cute. Right, Piper?
Look happy.
I was going to show everybody your
Look at
trophy,
that.
man.
Well,
Man, that's a lot of hardware there. Man, you got best in show, best scale Warbeard. What else?
Just I got second in team scale with a friend who had a big decathlon, and that was a lot of fun. Totally different way of and I had never even touched the airplane until we got there. In fact, I showed up and he said, "Hey, would you go in the team with me?" And I didn't know much about NASA because I'd always competed at Top Gun, and it's close. There's some differences. So Mike Barbie was there, and I just said, "Is it okay?" And he said, "Yeah, I don't care." So we said, "Sure." Yeah, there it is. And I know people are going to wonder which decathlon that is, and I have no idea. That's bigger than it's got to be close to half scale.
Well, yeah, it's big, man.
I think Hempel made a bunch of big ones, didn't he? I don't know. Maybe it's Hempel, or maybe that was Cubs. Anyway, it was a big one, and it was
nice,
fun.
man. So did you win for your flying or the plane itself?
Yeah. So I put that airplane in basically Pro Am Pro. The same as Pro Am Pro at Top Gun. Where you get 5 in this one, you get 5 points just if you could show a picture, which is a billion pictures of the proud American. So I just showed him a picture and got 5 points. It's all based on flying.
Okay, all right. So you flying, I guess, scale.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's 10 maneuvers. 5 are mandatory, and then you pick from a book. Shows, you pick from a book that shows, I don't know, there's a whole bunch of maneuvers, and some are very, very aerobatic, and you got to pick maneuvers that are best for the airplane. So I was, of course, I was representing a hot, heavy day and a hot airplane full of ordnance. So it's a heavy plane. So that limited me to a lot of stuff.
Looks nice.
Thank you.
You had to keep the speeds up everywhere, turns, straights, downs, landings.
And you know what? The thing with that, so I've got a lot of time flying the Ziroli Skyraider, and they didn't have as much of ordnance on the wing, so I can't compare them to this one. But this Legend model Skyraider, when I first picked it up with all that crap hanging off of it, and with all the extra scale stuff that I did, I thought, this is really going to be a challenge to fly. And it doesn't know the difference. I've flown it without. I mean, of course, the maiden flight, I didn't put anything on the wing. I even had one of those fuel tanks. You see how big those fuel tanks? I had one hang up.
Wow.
Go roly-poly into the ground. Had full control of it, and finally shook it off. And that was actually an issue. It was a problem. I didn't have it attached correctly. But that's the best flying. I mean, it's up there with P-47s. I mean, you guys have a T-28 behind you. I'm doing the exact same thing with his T-28. It's glassed. It's ready to go. In fact, I need to put it up on RC groups, and with everything else happening, like I said, I'm behind on that. But I'm going to scale it out just like that one, and I'm hanging a bunch of crap off the wing of that one too.
So what power source are you using in that particular plane that you flew this past weekend?
So that is a goodness, what is that? An EME 55.
Okay.
And the airplane can fly. I've seen it fly totally fine on a 35. The reason why I liked the 55 is because I wanted to swing that 4-bladed prop.
Gotcha.
So it is almost perfectly scaled 4-bladed prop for the airplane. Did
you do all the detail work on it, or did it come that way?
No, it was an ARC almost ready to cover, which I know that airplane. I think the T-28s offered that way as well. I glassed it with between 1 ounce and 3/4 ounce cloth, depending on what we were, center sections 1 ounce, wing tips are 3/4 ounce, stuff like that. and then glassed it. I always use that, and I just always use that to glass with. And then let's see here, the pods to hang, the actual pods to hang out all the ordnance actually come with the airplane because they have these little unguided rockets. And so every picture that I saw, I saw so much other things. So between friends and 3D printers and stuff like that, we were able to, like the napalm, those napalm canisters. I got lucky because I bought a big estate one time. The guy did a whole bunch of rockets, and so I had a whole bunch of the Estes rocket stuff, and I found them with two nose cones that looked exactly like the napalm canister. So that big silver napalm canister in the middle of that is just an Estes rocket that I was able. And I designed it so they all unscrew. They all screw and unscrew the exact same way, so I can take the napalm off of like stores number 2 and put it out on the end if I want.
Okay.
So there's. Since then, I can't remember, they're called the CBU-5 or something, and CBU-8, but they're the ones they're the long tubes, and they're like in a triangle, and you see them. I think you see them on P-47s, P-51s carried them at the end of the war.
Yeah.
They can put different stuff in the back of them. I had 4 of those on the outside, and it looked really cool with them. It was totally 3D printed, and the problem was not with the person that printed it, but with them being so long. And all that vibration over 2 years of flying. And it was funny because they all failed at the same time.
Wow.
Within two flights, I was at Matt Dino's event and flying it. And all of a sudden something just explodes. And of course, I didn't even take time to know what it was. I hit the gear, yelled emergency, came down, and the airplane was flying fine. And when I taxied back, I realized one of them had went off. And then the second flight, I was like, well, they fly it. They fly it non-standard all the time. So I might have 2 of something here and 1 over here. So I was like, let's see what happens. So went back up later that day, flew it, and all of a sudden 2 explosions. So I took the last one off. I was like, okay, I'm getting lucky here. I don't want to hit a stab, and off goes the stab. So it actually went in for maintenance for the first time in 3 years. The first time in 3 years I hadn't tightened a bolt. And I got to be honest with you, I was very surprised. There were a few things around the engine block case that I wanted to change, and a couple little loose ends, but nothing compared to what I thought. They've really built a stout airplane there. And like I said, weight wise, I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's that heavy. I didn't weigh it. I didn't want to. But as far as landing and takeoff, I mean, it's never been a problem. And I've made some doozy landings with it, learning the airplane.
Yeah, well, somebody's trying to tell you need to go ahead and make those ordnance where you can hit a button and drop them. See.
Well, so there's 3 bays that do that. So the bay in the very center. So basically, that flying picture you just showed, there's 3 stores. The 2 wing panel stores. I guess I would say inner wing panel stores that were holding the 2 tanks, and the one in the middle. So I have it on 2 switches. So the one switch, I drop the 2 outer ones, and then I can come back around on another switch right next to it. I can drop that center one, and I can also put bombs right where that's there. So I have the bombs that Tomas sells that I say they explode. You put baby powder in them. Yeah. I tell everybody it's cocaine because I look like I'm working on, got cocaine all over my mouth and everything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So,
making a run.
None of it made it into the bomb.
Yeah, so I can do one or the other.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool. Yeah. And you so you won 2 trophies. And I mean, how many people did you guys have there?
So it was a smaller event. I think there was 17 total. But the cool thing was, 17 total. But the cool thing was last year there were 7. And so, a guy by the name of Frank, who is started that, the club. This is the Memphis Prop Busters Club, and I'll actually put something up here if my dog will allow me. She's trying to take all my time. She's a total. So my dog is a golden retriever. Her name's Piper, for obvious reasons. And
with no tail. With no tail.
Yeah, I told you about this, huh? So she's born with no tail. Yeah. And I think she is as one of we had some youth group kids over. We were cooking for them and stuff, and they went out and played with her. And they came back and they said, "We don't want to hurt her feelings or anything, but is she kind of special?" I was like, "Yeah, she's special." So, well, I'll try to find it. I'll find it here in a minute. But anyway, so this is the club is the Memphis Prop Busters. and they're just outside of downtown. I went coming from Arkansas, like going towards Nashville, maybe 20 minutes past downtown. And it was they just such a good group of people, very low drama, and you know, everybody was working together to make it happen. And you know, like with any type of event when it's brand new, there were some issues, not issues, but just parts of, like, you know, cutting your teeth a little bit in the in the competition. But all of us had a great time, and yeah, I'm really happy I did it.
Yeah, we've talked about with our club actually doing some trophies for scale planes and different warbirds and things like that. I think it'd be really cool, especially for static display, most scale, biggest. You know, I think, you know, that's really cool to have those types of things at shows.
Well, you know, the thing that I love about, and I've said this before, you know, my passion obviously is sharing the hobby. But it's also sharing this segment of the hobby. I mean, I've always been into warbirds because of the history of it, but it's really at this point now with me, anything scale. And that, you know, anybody can take an ARP and bore holes in the sky, and that's totally fine. But eventually you're going to get bored with that. I've seen a lot of people who will, you know, start off with a trainer, a couple years down the road, they buy a ARP and fly it. And unless they have a group of people that they're part of, or they're doing something else, I see them leave eventually.
Right.
And you know, we are in this community is in a very, very small segment of a very small and reducing hobby.
Oh yeah.
So,
thank you, John. I appreciate that, buddy.
I'm sorry.
I told John, thank you. He's throwing around the change in here, man. I said that was very nice of him.
Oh, yeah. And so, you know, the thing that what I love doing is actually sharing aviation and sharing the hobby with people. So did I tell you guys about the Trainer Banger RC competition that I did years back?
To me, it sounds familiar.
Did I tell you about that?
I'm not sure if you did or not.
So when I started competing at Top Gun 20 some years ago, about the 5th year in, people were coming up, they were starting to recognize who I was, and they kept asking, you know, they kept saying, they all say the same thing. Oh, I could never do it. I could never, number one, I could never build a plane like that. I could never afford a plane like that, but I would love to compete one day. And so everybody knows who knows me, because people ask all the time, what's your favorite airplane to fly? And I always, it blows them away when I say, remember the boxy, Carl Goldberg-ish, Eagle 2-ish airplanes? That is I have probably 15 of those ready to fly down in my garage, and I pick I learned on the Flight Star 40 from Hobbyco, and I've got 8. I've got 1 that flies, and I've got 4 in the box, brand new.
Wow,
that'll last me hopefully till I'm dead. I've got, you could just name them. I've got them all, and I just enjoy it. We go out to the field. I've got another guy that does it as well. So anyway, I came up with an idea. I didn't know if it would work or not, and let's do a competition, a Top Gun style a Top Gun Pro-Am competition with just trainers. Because I guarantee you two guys could find 2 trainers somewhere.
Oh yeah,
they're everywhere, right? Yeah. And we came up with the Trainer Banger RC competition, and there was 5 maneuvers. Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, because we banged some up. There's 5 maneuvers, you know, so takeoff, high-speed flyby, low-speed flyby, landing, and then realism in flight. And then there were a bunch of other maneuvers that you could choose. But the idea was make that trainer look like a Cessna 172. And the hardest maneuver that I am at the worst is the high-speed flyby. You would think, why? And the reason is that big old flat bottom airfoil. Every little, you know, one of the things you have to do is, you know, constant pitch, not constant pitch, but constant heading. And just with the thermals out there and everything bouncing you around. So anyway, the first time I did it, we had, I think, 8 guys. This is at my club in Lexington, Kentucky. And then I moved back to Arkansas for my job. They did it the following year. And now I've been told they host 2 of them because there's so many.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, that's a great way to get people into the hobby, especially at a reasonable price too. You know, I mean,
well, we opened it up, yeah, and then, you know, what always happens is somebody will call and say, oh, hey, have a trainer, but I have this low wing thing, and we opened it up to that just because we wanted more people. And we did say, look, this competition is designed around a 40 size boxy trainer. Like we've all, learned how to fly on one.
Yeah.
But it caused more people to build. And there's people now that, I've got friends that fly giant scale warbirds and jets, and they're building trainers.
Yeah, well, that's like Thomas, they just came out with the big Ultra Stick, man. And that's a big plane. And I think he told me last night that they had actually sold out of those already. Because, again, who wouldn't love that plane? It's going to fly good, especially with that massive wing.
Yeah. Yeah. So
yeah, we've got several guys, old timers that come to our field, man. And
I think we're the old timers.
Well, no, there's some older ones than us, but I mean, that's typically all they want to fly is trainers.
That is true. They love their trainers. I go, well, you can fly whatever you want, but if that's what you like,
yeah.
It's just fun. You're not scared to death to go out in the field. I don't care who you are. If you're even these, like, I say $500, $700 foamies. I mean, I even get nervous when I take an EDF, and I'm like, man, I hope I don't blow this thing up.
Yeah. That's like we got one guy at the field, man. He comes out and he's a very skilled builder and pilot, and he'll get out there and bring a trainer, man, fill it up with gas. He'll take off and he'll do several, maneuvers and this and that, and he'll go up so high you can't hardly see it, and he'll keep flying it. And I walk over to him like, hey, man, don't you about need to land that thing? And he's like, nah, I'm gonna let it run out of gas. I'm going, huh? And he'll carry it up real high, and all of a sudden it'll start. He said, it's close, and then it'll peter out, and then he'll just amble around and and come in, and he'll land it just about right at his feet, and I'm like, show off, I mean,
it's fun.
He's a great pilot, man. We enjoy hanging out with him when he comes out to the field, but he's an amazing builder. He's got a house full of airplanes,
2 houses full of airplanes. I'm talking about full house. I'm talking about when you walk into the living room, full of airplanes. You walk down the hallway, full of airplanes. You walk in every bedroom, full of airplanes. You walk in the kitchen, full of airplanes.
This guy's single, isn't he?
What's that?
He's single, isn't he?
No. That's the part that's really weird. I'm going, does she have a sister?
Hey, right.
No, that's just one house. And then he lives next door. That was his mom and dad's house. They passed away, so that's his storage area. In his house, he's got the whole upper house on top of his house full of stuff all the way back from the 80s.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love to go there.
He's got this, mega that, and
then if somebody says, hey, man, I know somebody with planes for sale, he's like, let's take a field trip. I'm like going, okay. He's building. I've
got 3 storage containers full of airplanes right now, and I'm starting to sell some because
you locked up on us there, PJ.
There he is.
Well,
there he is.
I mean, that's the first one. That's not too bad. I mean, I do live in Searcy, Arkansas.
Yeah, he's building the big OB10 by Horizon Hobby. He's got a big P40 he's building. He's
big
got
Corsair, the big this, the big that, the big this, the big that, and then he brings his trainer out.
And brings his trainer out and flies. Yeah.
And he loves it. I said, well, I could break in those other ones for you if you really
exactly. Yeah. He actually, there's one guy at our field that he builds all composite warbirds that are massive.
Oh, the cabinet guy.
And this particular other guy that we're talking about that flies train, he maidens them for him and flies them for him first and gets them broke in and trimmed in and everything, man. I mean, that's how much this other guy trusts him. And he's an older gentleman that builds the planes. And I'm telling you, his planes are beautiful, man. All composite. Yeah. They're nice, man.
I need to come. I need to move. Where's this club at that has all these guys?
We're in North Carolina.
North Carolina. Okay. What part?
Greenville. Our club is in Kinston, North Carolina, which is about 25 minutes from Greenville.
Okay.
Which is where I live and Wayne lives close by. So yeah, but you need to come out. We're having our Big Bird Warbird Classic the end of September this year, and we have 50% out there that day. Guys with jets come out. But there's
trying to get what's his name with the B-29.
Yeah, definitely trying to get.
Isn't that a great story? I mean, I love that because I know when John Monahan had it from Mac Hodges, and it sat down in his basement forever. I thought that's the end of that. And then when that guy, I guess, somehow picked it up from him, and I was like, I hope this guy does something. Wow.
Oh,
Yeah, I
he
guess
did
he
a
did.
heck of a job. On top of that,
I
what
never
was it?
thought it'd be that.
Each main
What a
gear
great-
was $12,000.
Yeah.
12
much?
grand. My pickup was only $2,000. He's got 12 grand in each main.
In each
Yeah.
main gear.
In each main. Something like that. It might have been 12 grand for both, but I think they're 12 pounds a piece.
Yeah, there.
Anyway, a lot of money. He's
A lot
got
of money.
Yeah,
in that
but
stuff.
it flies and sounds like the real one, man. I mean,
Yeah,
it
it is gorgeous.
yeah, and we're trying to get him to come down here too. He said he would try to do that, but yeah, I mean, so if you're feeling froggy, man, you need to come on down and hang out with us because we have normally anywhere from 50 to 60 pilots register, and then we have anywhere from 400 to 500 spectators come out.
Wow.
So
Oh, yeah.
Wait a minute. Do y'all know John Welcome?
I don't
Is he North
recognize.
Carolina? Okay.
I might know his face.
Well, there's North Carolina's a decent size, so there's guys all over North Carolina
We
that
got
fly.
Southern redneck, we got Northern rednecks, we got Eastern redneck, and we got Western redneck. So that might.
Yeah.
And then you got the Northerners coming in too. So
They love us. They come down here. We got the best chicken. We
Yeah.
got the best beans, and man, that place smells after lunch. Man.
But yeah, we have a great time, man. And Thomas is always sending us nice planes to raffle off, and he always sends us a nice kit, man. And everybody's really excited because we give away a lot of great prizes at our raffle.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
plus, we've got barbecued chicken and all the
Ooh.
fixings. We've got hamburgers and hot dogs. And,
DA-70 giveaway, twin.
yeah, we're giving away a DA-70 at this fall.
That is a great engine.
Yeah.
I know. The same guys won it twice. What, 2 years in a row? I can't. Whatever Ken's won.
Yeah, Ken's got a horseshoe up
He's
his
got
butt.
He's got the golden horseshoe stuck somewhere. He won't let
Yeah.
it go.
Definitely. He's won a lot of
He
stuff.
wins it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And on the opposite side, I could buy 1,000 tickets. Talk about buy 1 or 2, and he's still going to win. That's why half the time I'll just donate my, how much, so many tickets. And I'm like, give it to a kid or whatever, because I'm not going to win anything.
Well, and see,
Me.
I won something at our last fly-in, but it was something from Legend Hobby, a shirt or something. And I said, well, just draw again because, I've got a closet full of those too. So, and I love my shirts and all my stuff, but I didn't want to take something when somebody else could get it. And people love the shirts and hats that we give away from Thomas. They love the socks, man.
They're comfortable
And,
socks. I wear them.
socks are fantastic. But yeah, Thomas just sends us boxes of stuff, and we put it all in the raffle, man. So everybody,
And that stuff is not free to him. I mean,
no, and it's nice quality stuff,
It is
man.
good stuff.
and that's the thing I really do appreciate. I'm a big component. I'm a big fan of supporting the local, we'll say mom and pop shop.
Absolutely.
in
They
this
almost
hobby.
don't exist anymore.
The
Yeah.
crap that it doesn't exist. And, it's like when Walmart came into town and took everything,
Yep.
and then, we all say we miss those. Well, it's the same thing. And that's why I've always been, they're just out there doing it because they love the hobby, not because
That's
they're
exactly
making money.
right.
Well, that's just like
Margins are nothing.
that's just like Marshall with ZoomRC.net.
Yeah.
He's constantly sending us stuff for our fly-ins, and he sends us the really nice, like high-end servo leads.
20 gauge.
And he sends us cowling protectors. He sends us hats,
3M strip.
3M strips. I mean, he sends us a big box of stuff, and we give that stuff away. A lot of times it's pilot prizes, and everybody loves his stuff because it's kind of like we put stuff out on the table. If you get a pilot prize, you get to pick what you want, and everybody's fighting over, a fuel dot, or they're fighting over the servo extensions, because it's all his stuff. And he's in Texas. And he's just a small guy too, man, but his customer service is great, and he's always got great stuff. And so we really try to support him here on the channel. And he always looks out for us with our events every time. And so, yeah, like I said, good. That's what it's all about, man. If you can help the little guy, yeah. And they're normally the most hardworking guys. They'll do anything for you typically,
Yeah. And it's like I said, I know a lot of people in this business, and the small mom and pop, this is not what they do. They have to have another job. And so, get out there and support those people. Yeah, you can go onto one website and overpay and get it all in one, in one swoop, but there are other sites where you can get a little bit from this person, a little bit from that person, and you're going to save money. I'm telling you, you're going to save money. I mean,
well, normally, like with Zoom, if anybody buys stuff from him, if they use code JCRC10, they get 10% off. And I mean, in today's world, that is big, man. So
I'm telling you, the margins aren't much better than that.
Yeah, and that's off your entire order. You get 10% off if you use code JCRC10. And like I said,
what about code Brown?
No, that wouldn't work. But like, you know, I don't know if you've used Sean over at Scale RC Engines, man.
He's got some good stuff.
He's another one that is a great supporter of the channel and sends us gift certificates to give out. And he does some beautiful stuff, man. This radial right here,
baby,
it looks like pure metal. You know,
cool.
That's nice. What's that going in?
That's going in the T28.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I just got one of those. They were shipped to me. I haven't even opened the box yet.
Okay, well, he sends you the rods, but you have to cut them, and I painted them, and then I put the wires in myself, and painted the little pieces here like a bronzy color. Yeah. I looked at a picture on the internet, but all of the cockpits and everything in this plane behind me are all from him.
Yeah, the cockpit is truly awesome.
And the cockpit's amazing. I mean, everything is color. I mean, his printer's printing color. And all the switches, you don't have to hardly glue anything really except your little glass lenses in each one of the holes. He gives you the decals. All the switches are already in place. The sides, the handles, the levers, everything. If you can zoom in on it, bring it over here and show it to him. It's beautiful, man. He does amazing work. He was at Joe Nall a few weeks ago and had a huge display.
Yep, I can see it.
All that's color done already. You don't have to paint anything.
It's pretty impressive.
It really is.
I mean, the intricacy, it's amazing what they can do now.
And he said his printer, he can do up to 4 different colors at one time. So
really,
it just looks, so it looks amazing. But yeah, and he normally gives discounts to guys if they let them know that they came here and saw it. So that's what it's all about, man. Like, you know, the mom and pop, everybody says nowadays, I wish we had a hobby store. Well, then quit buying crap online. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Alibaba.
There's certain companies that you can go to. You can't talk to anybody. You can't get something taken care of. I was reading a post today on Facebook, as a matter of fact, from a person that bought a radio like I have, which is the iX20 SE. And since he's had it only a few weeks, it's glitching. It won't work right. So he sends it back. And they said, well, it's not doing it for us. We can't find anything wrong with it. So we're going to send it back to you. He's like, well, then I'm just going to throw it away. He said, because it is a problem and it's causing problems. He said, and, you know, he said, so that's a lot of money when you're not either replace it, give me another one, or refund me, you know? And they're like, no, you know? And I'm like, I hope nothing don't happen to me. I've had mine for a couple of years and not had a problem.
Let me tell you, I was, you know, the DX18 was the last radio I had, and of course, as you guys know, I was Horizon rep back in the day. And when the iX20 came out, you know, they wanted us all to have them, and of course, we had to pay for them. Yeah. Luckily, mine's been good. You know,
yeah, mine has too. Yeah,
I've been looking at other radios, though. I've been looking at other radios. I know FrySky. There's nothing but good things about them. Because, you know, eventually it's not their fault. I mean, eventually the radio is going to either not work or going to be outdated, or, you know, I mean, I remember back when I thought I would never spend more than $600 and some on a radio. It was back when
good luck with that one.
Yeah, with that, and then it was the JR12X, and I thought, wow, 12. I'll never need another one. Never need another one.
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway,
well, that's why I bought the iX20 SE. I said I'll never need another one, but I've been looking at the Jetty, man. A lot of guys are starting to switch over to those.
You're going Ken Wade on me.
And the Jetties are nice radios, man.
They're
from
heavy
what I'm
too.
seeing. Yeah,
they're heavy.
They look really good, and everybody that I've talked to about them seems to be very impressed and very happy. And you can take the receivers and build more channels upon it, from what I understand. So, you know, which is a good thing. You don't have to buy a 20 channel receiver for $350. You can get a 10 channel and expand it, you know?
Yes.
And then you can add switches to it if you want to. I mean, you can do a lot of stuff to it to upgrade it yourself, you know? Now, some of us fly Futaba, you know? So we forgive him for that. But, you know.
They always give me a bad time because I fly Futaba.
Well, you know what? There's You know, the fact is, the big names, Spectrum, Futaba, those guys, they're good. I mean, they're big companies and they're good. But when you start looking at some of the, and I'm going to go, the only reason I'm saying FrSky's, but I've been reading about them, but the way that their technology and how tight it is, and that you can use different receivers, so you can use Futaba, Spectrum. You know, that's really cool. My thing has always scared me. You know, if an airplane is flying good, if it crashes and it's my fault, I'm okay with that. If I did something stupid or if I brain farted or something.
Yeah.
Usually that hasn't happened, not because I'm so good, as I fly within my means. There are certain days where I don't feel it. In fact, I was going to work on an airplane and fly it at the end of this event. And because it was so hot and I was already sort of tired flying that guy's decathlon after the event, he wanted to see what it could do. And I said, okay, and gave him the speech about, I'll do the best I can, but if it crashes, it's on you. He said, oh yeah, no problem. So we went out there and had a ball with it. In about 10 minutes, I said, I think I'm done. I'm tired. Yeah. And,
it's really strange. What you're saying is absolutely true, because it's a feel. You know, it's almost like golf. You know what I mean? You know how you get into a funk if you're playing golf and you can't get out? It's like, what am I doing? Like Tin Cup, if you ever watched the movie, he shanks it everywhere. He goes, Rome's, what am I doing wrong? Put your change in the other pocket and your keys in your back. I mean, you get this fun thing, and it's like a weird thing, and then you can feel it. It's just something I can't explain.
Or when you got guys standing over your shoulder going, man, you gonna fly that plane? You gonna maiden it today or what?
Yeah.
I don't know those guys.
Yeah. Well, you know, they've done a lot of study. I mean, as a pilot as well, as a full-scale pilot, we would do we had to do case studies and stuff, and that one of the first things that the brain, I don't want to say forgets, but loses, is muscle memory. When you're tired, when you're overly stimulated, when you're depressed. And so muscle memory and
that's all I have is muscle
depth
memory.
perception.
No wonder nothing goes right.
Well, think about it. Muscle memory, which is obviously, but depth perception is obviously. I know when I'm off by my landings. I've always been very proud that I could land almost anything. Yeah. And when I would take something and bounce the living crap out of it, and I'm tired, like I know what's going on. So, so my point is, have I crashed planes? Yeah, absolutely. We all have. But lately, have I? I would say no, because I always do a self-assessment. I try to never fly above my ability, try to keep the ego in check. The thing that scares me to death is, especially when I'm flying the jets or anything really big and heavy, is that when it all boils down to it, that radio is talking to that receiver. And if that receiver is not in the mood, then what? I hate being a passenger in an RC plane, especially if there's a lot of people. So my biggest thing is good equipment and a good connection. And when you see some of these radios that have these like multiple connection points and the way that they, because at the end of the day, you could be the best pilot in the world, but if the airplane and radio decide that they're not going to talk today, that's the end of that.
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
I saw Curtis Schweitzer there for a minute. I don't know if he's still here or not, but there's a funny story about that. Curtis and I were at Top Gun together. He was calling for me, and I was flying thank God it wasn't mine, but it was a company Learjet. This was probably 3 or 4 years ago at Top Gun. And, I took off, and we call it the cone of death because it's over by the far left side. For some reason, there's some Jew over there, and it wants to eat up airplanes. And so we were flying. I was flying over there, and I was coming back around, and I went to make the turn from my base to final. And the airplane didn't want to do anything. It just.
That is the nastiest feeling.
And so Curtis starts going, "Hey, you gonna turn? You gonna turn?" I'm like, "I ain't got it." I think I yelled out "crash maneuver begin" right before it hit the trees, and then you could hear it go through the trees and just relieve the airplane apart as it falls to the top. And that was a high-end radio system, and what could it be? So I hate that. That's the part that I absolutely hate, because I'll maiden an airplane. I do a lot of maidens for people, a lot of maidens, and I always ask, has it been balanced? Yes. We look at the control throws. Yes, and everything should fly. The power to weight ratio in these models are so high that it'll fly. But
that's just it. We've got a place in our field too that's kind of, we wonder. We've actually gone out there with a checker to check the hertz and everything with it, and we've got actually a real airport where military planes come in and out within 2 miles of us, and then we've got a irrigation system that runs on 2.4 megahertz in the field, kind of away from us. And I've seen 3 planes, and his is one of them, go down in that very corner. And
Lucy, y'all have a cone of death.
Yeah, but you never know. I mean, I fly around that way and come in base, like you say, a lot of times. And, you never know. But one of my friends lost 2 of his planes in one day in that corner, and he lost one for the first time. He'd never have a brown
Same
out.
thing, coming around on base. I'm coming around on base, and then it just locked in. Nothing I could do. Just went in just like that.
Yep.
Yeah. And, everybody loves to get online and say, well, it's because you fly Futaba. Well, it's because of Spectrum. I heard Spectrum sucks. Well, all the big name companies, I mean, there's some goofy Chinese radios out. If you see a 10 or 15 channel radio for $83, don't buy it. If you're listening right now, don't buy it.
Right.
Don't
Yeah.
buy it. I mean,
No
even
doubt.
if it looks like a good radio, even I've seen a Chinese company take a 12X JR12X case. This is why I remember, because I love that radio. And they put a bunch of holes where it wasn't even supposed to be, and they made like a 20 channel radio out of it for like $85, and it was some weird name. And I was like, I almost bought it just because I wanted to see it, but I was like, nah, I can waste $83 on so many things in this hobby. I don't need it.
Yeah.
But no, all the big names, and they all try hard. They all want to be the best they can be. And you know what? There are some places I do believe where, Spectrum has had a trouble. I mean, I know a couple of guys that out in, I think, not LA, but in Las Vegas, there's a big jet show out there. And they've been known that for some reason, some of the Spectrum stuff has had hard times out there, But again, I've never had an issue. I've flown Spectrum a long time, but I'll tell you, they like their prices. And I'm not about to spend $455 for a receiver.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. What
technology is just, it's not.
And look, people laugh because I'll have an expensive foam jet or whatever, and I fly these lemons in them, because they got gyros, and you can get this. I think this 10 channel. Well, yeah, this one's actually a 6, but I buy 10 channels for like $39 on sale, and I'm gonna tell you what, man, they're the most stable flying gyro system. They're easy to set up, and they're amazing for the price tag. And I've never lost a plane with one of those. I have lost a plane with a Spectrum receiver it wasn't cheap. And I've had brownouts with it, but I've again, knock on wood, whatever. I mean, I've got a lot of free wing jets that I fly, the big ones, and I put these in them, man. And my last A10, matter of fact, I got the version 2. The version 1 had this one right here in it, and it flew rock solid, never had a problem. I mean, it was locked in as good as anything could ever be. And people go, man, I can't believe you're going to buy a $700 jet and put a $20 receiver in it. I'm like, I've never had a problem with them. So what's your point? Yeah. I mean, but I think Spectrum has gone off the charts. I mean, you buy a 10 channel receiver, it costs you $100, and then you want a couple of satellites, they're $40 a piece. So now, you got $160 in a 10 channel receiver, man. And it's like, what? I got to spend another $60 for 2 satellites for more, what do you call it? Security in this airplane. I mean, I don't know, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So what are you flying right now?
Oh, I'm still on Spectrum just because I had everything Spectrum.
See, me too.
Then when I was let go over there, I buy up even used stuff right now if I know who the person is.
Yeah.
But again, eventually I'm going to have to find something else, and I've just been kind of keeping my eye out. And again, it's nothing against Spectrum; it's just the price point just seems. I mean, JR's got a really good receiver and stuff, and
that's why I didn't switch over to Jetty, because you had to change everything, all your receivers.
And see, there are radio systems. I know FlySky, one of them. There are radio systems you don't have to do that. So, the radio is the most important part of the airplane. You lose the engine, you still have a chance.
Yes. Yeah.
The covering falls off, or the wheel falls off, or name a bunch of things. I mean, heck, even I've seen airplanes come with half of a wing ripped off. You still have a chance. But if you have no discussion between the radio and the receiver, there's just that's. And see, I'm doing it. I'm flying in front of 80 foot that you lost me.
Yeah, you're breaking up real bad. So say what you just said again.
Okay, there we go. So, being really close with the local and Piston Rock, I flew in front of 85,000 people at Jackson Air Show.
Still not. You're still.
I promise, I haven't moved.
You got a storm coming? Now you're frozen.
Perfect.
He's locked up now. Really?
There he is.
Nah,
He's coming back.
He's frozen now.
He's coming back.
Tell your wife to get off the internet.
Thunderstorms.
Yeah, I think it's severe clear out there. No, nothing. Okay, there we go. Can you hear me now?
Let me look at the
Yeah, I
weather.
got you now.
So what I was trying to say is I'm gonna be flying in front of 85,000 people. I'm gonna be flying a turbine jet doing that. I want everything perfect. I'll be flying an Air Force base too, and
Wow.
I don't ever want a situation where I'm questioning what's going on. The FAA's there. We're working together. They love what we're doing. They're fully supportive. And again, I'm talking about the local FSDO. I'm not trying to say that I'm doing anything better than the AMA is doing up in Washington, D.C. But here's the local person that's over the local. Well, I say local. It's like a 4 or 5 state person. She's over.
Right.
In fact, I got her. In fact, just to see. Yeah, here he is. This is one of them. See, FAA. You can see it.
Hey.
But I work with them, and I put a book together because there's so much confusion. So what I did is I put a book together that showed that I passed that SAFE program, and then that other one that they did for a while.
Yeah, I got all that too. Yep.
Yeah, it's in a binder. So when I go to the show, they want me there at the pilots meeting. We go through everything, and then I walk up to the FAA and I show them every single thing that that I have, and they like it. Now the point where I'm actually going to go and do a sit down with all of those people at the FAA at that level to kind of show them the plane, because they thought they were like the thing they always say. Well, I thought they would have known that by now, but.
Well, you can't say government and efficiency in the same sentence. How in the world can you have the government that runs all the FAA and then they don't even know? You come along, and you are the expert. You do it all the time, and you have to put something together so they can understand. It's crazy. Why do they get paid 6 figures to sit there and shuffle paper everywhere and can do nothing? I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, it's crazy.
Well, I owned a flight school 20 years ago and worked with the FAA. 30 years ago. Wow. The second that the FAA, I found out that they were getting involved in model airplanes, I said to everybody, they're not ever going to go away. They're never going to go away.
No, we're just going to taxi this one time. No,
we need to work with them. And, even talking about the remote ID, I had my remote ID in that manual. And I said it would be, every airplane, I said, I've got 80, 90 airplanes. You guys do not want to have to manage that. And he looked at that and says, no, I'm fine as far as you got that. You got the ID number. That's all I care about. So even they are saying something different than what the FSDO say, or what the
right hand, left hand. Oh, we don't know what's going on. Check with us Monday.
Yeah. So. Hey, can you guys kick Dino DiGiorgio out? Dino, I'm on my computer, not my phone. He's one of those Apple slobs.
And look, guys, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do so, because we have PJ,
unless you have an Apple phone.
And a lot of great people up here. Really, really enjoy having all these great guys up here.
That's funny.
So tell me about your B-25, man.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful airplane, and I know you did some really cool mods on that one as well.
Bring the picture.
Yeah, let's
get yeah. So Legend Hobby came out with a B-25. It's God, I wish I knew. Can you guys look up the wingspan? Is it it's 100?
That's the one right there.
Yeah, this is the one. Oh, hold on.
Hold on a second. We've got to bring this great picture. Just tell us what's going on in that picture right there.
Hey, I started that years ago. In fact, I am going to do, you guys know about me. I'm starting Warbird Alley and all that stuff. And we are going to do, I talked to David Hart, who does pictures for everything. And there it is. And Dave said he would do the pictures if I can get them turned in. But every year I'm going to do the Men of Warbird Alley, and it's going to be a calendar. And what you're going to do is anybody who wants, they can submit a picture. It has to be something like that. And then they'll be in the magazine, or they'll be in the calendar. Can't tell you what year it's going to happen, but they'll be. So yeah, that B-25 is from Legend Hobby. It's an ARF. Now, I can't do anything normal, and I already have a huge Zeroli B-25, and it was, what happened? It was one night I was up, I couldn't sleep, and I went through the website doing what my wife calls airplane porn, and I came across this blue B-25, and I don't know what it was. I just thought it was awesome looking, and sure enough, I had to go make sure it was like the real one. So I reached out to Tommy and said, Tomas, I was just like, hey, tell me about this airplane. So we talked about it, and I said, well, is it true that, the thing I didn't like, I will tell you, especially for an ARF, for them to design that to go together the way it did, it breaks down so good or so well, depending. I'm sorry, I'm from Arkansas. It breaks down real good. And the wings slide off, the stab comes off with 3 bolts. You can even take the rudders off, or the horizontal stabs and the rudders off. So you just have a tube that will fit in a car.
Wow.
The thought that they put through the whole thing. The only negative I had, and it's just because I'm a scaled nut, a scale snob, is that the on the real one, if you look really closely at that picture, you'll notice there's no gear doors. Well, there are gear doors, but they close, and they just leave a little tiny one open, and that's how the real one is. And believe it or not, the real one, after doing some research, the real one actually is spring loaded. So as the gear door closes, so if this is the gear, as the gear door closes, this part, go this way, this part that just kind of stays open is done with the spring. And so I just did the same thing. And so I used the gear, I cut out the section that I wanted to stay open, and then just mounted up a spring system to, oh yeah, you showing the video? Yeah, so you'll see here, mounted it up to where the, come on, PJ, hit the switch. So that's the gear up position. As the gear comes down, and you see that, like just look at the main gear nose, the nose gear there.
Yeah,
that's the way it is from the factory. But I broke it there in the very front, so when the gear closes, or when the gear doors close, which you're going to see here in just a second, see that little tiny piece that it left open?
Yeah,
that's just like the real one.
That's
and then
cool,
I hit it.
Man.
It's just a simple. So I'm actually putting a PDF together for Tomas how I did that, kind of a step-by-step thing. And yeah, so that was the only really big thing that I changed, because I just personally, and it's a personal thing, I just hated the way it looked with those especially on the main gear doors. The way they stay down, it's just not the profile that I know for a B-25.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's all about the scale for me too, man. That's what I love. I mean, I'll sit there and work on something for days to get one little piece, and Wayne's like, man, just fly it. I'm like, yeah, I can't do it, man. Can't do it.
Yeah.
Look, it's like there's guys that come to the field, they don't even put decals on their planes. And that's the maiden flight, man. I'm not going to put them on until after I fly it, make sure. I'm like, I might not fly but one time. It's going to look damn good in that first flight, whether it goes in or whatever it does, you know?
Yeah. Well, the B-25 just did fantastic. I mean, as far as the build, nothing really stood out. There was nothing really big that I modified. I haven't flown it yet. It does have a bomb bay door that works, and I am going to be testing a low-profile bomb release mechanism for the B-25 for smaller bombs.
Right.
We think we can stuff 4 in there, and that'll be part of it. I'm going to try to maiden it first because it's ready to go, and I don't want to keep it down. Of course, with this heat, it just depends on when I can get out there. I have to run the engines and everything. But man, I got to tell you, for an ARF, the engines that I put in, Herb, is the EME35s. And I don't know if you have a close-up that shows the propellers. Yeah. I wanted to swing the correct blade, the correct size prop. So that's actually as close as I could get. It could probably fly on 26s for sure, even with 3-bladed. But I wanted to fly that big fat. Yeah, I wanted to fly those big fat blades, and I can bring the power back. That's not a problem. So I put the EME30. I want to say they're the EME35s. I think that's the size, but it's definitely EMEs, and they fit perfect. There was no it went in with no modification, and the propeller cleared.
Wow, that's killer, nice. Man.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful airplane, man. I mean, did that one already come covered and everything?
Yeah, it's already done that blue covering, and I liked it so much. I just wanted to have. Honestly, I wanted to have. I'm really enjoying. That's a good shot of the propellers. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying the flying at full-scale air shows, because you just get to meet so many people who just didn't realize model aviation's gone this far.
Right.
And, that was a big idea to have a B-20. We have a bomber group here. I'm a member of the board there at the Strategic Air Command Museum up in Blytheville, Arkansas. That's the last base that had the B-52s before they moved out, and the C-135s, tankers. And that was a strategic base for us if we were going to have a nuclear war. But then, of course, when nuclear decided to go missiles because it was boring, we didn't need so many bases, and so they closed that one down. But they have a big museum there, and they want to do an air show and they were looking for a B-25, and so here I've got one, and I don't have a lot of money wrapped up into it. My big Zeroli, it's a lot, and again, I was just wanting something. I don't want to be super nervous when I'm in front of a lot of people flying in that model airplane. And, I figured that it was just, it's a nice airplane that flies easy. It's light. And 99.9% of the people aren't going to care or notice that there's not rivets and panel lines and all that stuff on it.
They don't notice nothing.
So just a quick question. It's funny to me because looking at that plane kind of at first glance, I fly a F-7F Tiger Cat. And at first when I looked at it, I thought, man, is that an F-7? And they look very similar.
Yeah, they do, don't they?
Have you ever flown an F-7? And if so, does the F-7 and the B-25 fly kind of identical or differently?
No, an F-7, the Tiger Cat flies like the Tiger Cat flies like and is designed to fly like a fighter. It's a 2-engine fighter.
Right.
You can really tell a different single engine. So I've flown, of course, I own is it FMS who makes the electric one out there?
Well, I've got the Flightline, but FMS and Flightline are almost identical.
Which is the one that doesn't have the raised rivets?
That's the one I've got. That's Flightline.
Yeah. Okay, so I've got the Flightline one, but I've flown the big Don Smith one years back.
That's a big one.
Yeah, but even then, it flies light. It flies like a fighter flies. A B-25 flies like a bomber. They design any type of bomber. People think that bombers are really difficult to fly. The easiest bomber I've ever flown, and I've flown a lot of different ones, B-17. People go, oh wow, 4 engines. I'm like, 4 engines are easy. You keep them within 200 to 400 RPMs, the airplane's gonna fly just fine.
Yeah.
A twin engine, you got to keep it closer. You got to keep the RPMs closer.
Right.
I don't know what's going on. I think the P-38 voodoo gods are making fun of me because I hate the P-38, and I've already made 2 of them in the last couple of months.
Oh wow.
I love a P-38 and hate it because the P-38, that airplane has mental issues. It flies, but it has no problem killing itself.
Yeah, I've seen that happen too.
If you look at videos, and the P-38 I flew at the Dino DiGiorgio Senior Memorial event was probably one of the best I've ever flown. First flight, both engines were just perfect. Okay, now I am.
You're back. I think you're froze. Well, yeah. So on the B-25, what size tanks do you have, and how much flight time are you getting on that plane?
Okay, I'm getting every third word.
Okay, so I said on the B-25, what size tanks do you have, and how much flight time are you getting?
Oh, I haven't flown yet.
Oh, you haven't flown it yet.
I just got to finish a while, and then out on top, telling me to finish the plane. Well, fine. I got to do that's that P-51 I was telling you about.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I wonder if it's your internet or mine. I'm not sure because everything else.
I don't know, but it ain't talking. It's not talking.
Yeah, our radio and receivers aren't talking good.
Yeah, I can see me just fine, which is sad.
Yeah.
Nobody
I
can
see you, but it's like you're breaking up and you say I'm breaking up, so I don't know if it's the internet in general. Hell, I
it's
don't
a
know.
mutual.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's getting better.
Yeah, it's trying to. Dan Zimmerman said, if someone is flying a P-38, you should stop what you're doing and go watch it so you don't get hit by it.
You know exactly what video he's talking about. The P-38 is the same thing. If both engines are running great, when I do any sort of tell the owner, well, wait. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Say whenever I do a maiden on a P-38, I tell the owner if one engine off, I don't care where we are. If I'm flying a P-51 or a P-47, it's single engine, because if you go watch any crash video, I haven't seen one where he wasn't fighting a single engine situation. and a P38 will give you zero time, zero notice that it'll, that it'll crash. It's just such a high performance wing. It's designed to fly fast. Bombers were designed to fly stable, and that's the difference. See, bombers are designed to carry a ton of weight and fly stable at that time because they're getting shot up. And so most bombers, so most bombers like a B-25, since that's what we're talking about, you got two tails right behind the prop wash of each engine. So if you lose one engine, guess what? You got prop wash over the other engine over that tail. It's going to give you more stability. And I've had flights with B-25s, lots of them, Zerolis, I think mostly all of them. And hey, Herb Johnson, we just got electricity here in Arkansas last month. Give us a break.
That's funny.
So anyway, we
yeah, but it's only 12 volt.
well, hey, So anyway, we so my point is that to go back to the I think the reason why the Tiger Cat I feel flies better if you single engine other than a P38. There's no P38. There's no really. If you look at it, there's no rudder. And what I mean by rudder, if you look at the way that the Tiger Cat's shaped, the whole fuselage is shaped just like a rudder. It's fat in the middle, and it goes like this. If you look down the thing, and so you got the airflow, and that's like a knife going right through the air. A P38 has a little tiny egg for the cockpit, two little tiny booms, and these itty bitty rudders. And the reason why they actually tried to put the rudders and make them bigger. The problem was you couldn't get the 438 knots he wanted. So they just made them smaller and smaller, smaller. Why? So they wanted speed. So you got to get rid of something, either bigger engines or less drag. And so they went with less drag because they had the biggest engines possible. And that's why a Beech 18 is a perfect example. I mean, look at the rudders on a Beech 18. And when I did Beech 18 training when I flew the real one, and the instructor pilot told me, well, Beech 18 is a D18 or a C45 if you're in military. And they said that there's two types of pilots. And he said there's one that's seen a 360 degree wraparound view of the airport, and one that's about. And sure enough, I did it. I thought I was like, as it happened, I thought I just didn't get on the rudder fast enough. And what happens is as the plane is transitioning from forward motion to bring that tail down at about 28 degrees or so, the main wings block all the airspeed from the tail, from the rudders. And if you don't get through that little cone, through that little area there where the rudders are ineffective, it's going to go one way or the other. And it's only like 8 degrees one way. So if you don't get through that area, you're going to see a wraparound view of the airport. And I sure as heck did on a crosswind landing, and went right through two runway lights. How I didn't hit them, all I really did was just tear up some grass, taxied back on the runway, and
Man, you about making me want to get that B-25, man. It looks great. I'm telling you.
Okay, yeah, and so I got to tell you that they, I think for the masses, I think honestly, I think most people would rather have the green one. So if you go on the site, there's a green one with the bird cage, nose and everything. The only reason I picked this blue one is because I already had the green. I mean, I've already made the bird cage on the other one. So
see, I love the blue. I love that blue.
Oh yeah, I love it too. I mean, it's just different. It looks great. And the other thing is, so that's considered. I think they call that the PB4Y because the Navy could never, keep the same name on the airplane. But if you go and research, if you Google Navy B-25, there's the green one. Yeah, that's the first one it came out with. And if you look, for me, all I see is that gear door sticking down.
Yeah.
I hate that. And nothing against the company. They put all that time and effort into making that thing look so scaled, build so well. And the gear customizing, and it's not both gear doors, it's just one gear door. Even though there's two gear doors, when they close, you just have one that has that part that sticks open. And I cut that out and made that work in 2 nights.
Well, so are you gonna give that to Thomas so he can pass that along to people? Like I buy one.
Yeah. I'm gonna probably show a video of it, some close-ups of how I did it. I mean, if you just looked at the way I did it, you'll be like, oh yeah, I get that, no problem.
Yeah.
I've got the templates and everything, so I'll give those in a PDF. But I mean, it's nothing to do, and I understand. Tomas was the same way; he hated it too, but the time that it takes to build multiple planes and then get them shipped, and if we don't have them, what do? We bitch and moan, right? So I get it. There's only so much the factory can do, and what they do, I feel they've done really, really well. And so
Right.
they might have said, well, yeah, that sounds easy to do, but you had to cut it just this one time. We would have to make molds of all of them so they all fit together perfectly. So yeah, I get it. It's not
Well,
hard.
this
It
might
looks
be a
hard.
crazy question for you, but you might could add some insight. So let's say I wanted to do that particular plane in electric. What would you recommend for it?
Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you now. I'm not a fan of electric on Warbird.
Yeah, I get it.
If we were at the field, I might be making some sexual preference jokes, but since we're not, I'm not gonna say that. No, I'm joking. Listen, you would be more than fine with like 30cc motors, and I don't even know what that is. I just know that they do make them.
Yeah.
Even 20cc. But again, at 30cc, you can swing a 3-bladed prop.
Yeah,
And
that's what I want to do.
Even with it spinning, I can tell a difference.
I want it to look very scale.
Yeah. I think you'd be better off, to be honest with you, as I hate saying that because it's less vibration, because there's a lot of screws.
Yeah.
And, in fact, Mike Barbie is the one that taught me how to, if you use canopy glue, you can get from Zap. I use Zap canopy glue, and you screw the screw in with that, they don't come off. And since I've used that, they haven't.
Wow.
I haven't had one back out. And then if you need to unscrew it, it comes off because it just kind of turns into rubber.
Exactly.
But yeah, that B25 is something special. I'm excited about it. The way it flies, I'm sure it's going to fly good because it's light for what it is. No, I didn't weigh it. I don't really do that. I probably should.
Well, do you have a YouTube channel as well?
I do. I've probably got 3 videos on there. But I do have one on how to weather. That's pretty good.
Well, you ought to drop it in here, put a link in here for it, and so the guys can check it out, and you might have more. No,
I've got so much. I do. I have so much content. My son tells me how easy it is to upload. They've got these things on their phone where they can upload it. I have a really good program that I spent like $500 for back in the day. You never have to pay again, but it's a video editing software. I didn't realize AI is going to make it so easy for everybody. Like 10 years ago, I paid for this. Yeah. And I refused. And I went through so much to learn how to use it. I'm so stubborn about not using it. But by the time I dump it into there and do it, my son could have all the videos. We could upload them, which I need to do. Exactly. I really do. I've taken the videos of all this stuff.
Yeah. But
would love to have, I would love to take the knowledge that I've gained just by watching what other people have done over the years. And, I've learned about 5 or 6 different ways to weather an airplane, just depending on what your style is, depending on the way you like it. So the P-51 that we just finished, the Byron P-51, I actually used oils. Yeah. 99% of that airplane is just oil-based, which is what all the jet guys do. And it wasn't until I got in the jets I used that method. But, man, what a great way to show all the rivets. And when you let's see if I can show you a picture of it. When you slap the oil on the airplane for the first time, you're like, what did I do? Because you're like, please, here we go. You can see when I did, can you see of course it's going to. Shut up, Dino. I know what you're going to say about not being an iPhone. See all that?
Yeah.
That's the streaks. And then, let me see here. Because this is going down the other side. You got to do the streaks. Let's see if I can. There we go. See them?
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Right. Now, see that? Yeah. You got to get to the point right where it's close to drying, to where it's almost dry. And then when you're done, let me see if I can zoom in. This is the tail end, but you can kind of see. Let me see.
Oh, yeah.
You can. There it is. See the black, kind of the brown, and all that stuff. Kind of it gets left inside the any kind of a crevice, which is great. And so this is like, for instance, now this is the other way I did oil. So oil that leaks out of the bottom of the airplane. Again, there's just a way. I'm not gonna get into how to do it, but you can get this kind of effect.
Yeah. See, I do a lot of that. I do a lot of that with an airbrush.
That's what I used to do. But if you look, the airbrush cannot simulate the actual oil coming out of the bottom of an airplane. If you look at the bottom of an airplane, it's not blended at all. It's just like, it's just there.
Yeah.
So here's a good one too. This is to simulate, and again, this is a mixture of airbrush and oils, but this is the fuel cap screw that's on the top of the wing. And
there we go. That looks great. That looks really good. Yeah.
So again, there are tons and tons of different ways to weather a plane. And my point is, so in here's another. So in this, I've used several different ways of weathering here. Some of that is where I've taken tape to pull it up and let the silver come through.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That looks good. Yep.
Well, I wish I could.
That looks
It's
nice,
not
man.
one to- Yeah, and then there it is. And then some of those little flaky points are just a little bit of silver paint that I used a brush, dried it out, and went boop. You know.
Yeah.
You got to make that noise though. By the way.
Oh yeah, I hear you.
There's another. That's of course the inside of the. There's a real hatch there. Give it a second. Come on. There's a real hatch there that I use. That's my on and off switch and all that stuff. Of course, I had to paint it that zinc because I'm an idiot. But there's some more.
I get it.
You know. So anyway, there's just one last thing. This is where oils do a great job. See if I can zoom in because I want to make sure. So in and around, that engine is constantly spitting oil into the inside of the cowling, and it comes through those bolts and those screws, right?
Yeah.
And so that's just a dollop of oil, and then what I've done is I've taken a rag on up front of it, and then just went right over top of the thing, and that's what left.
Good.
That's it. Yeah. It takes a little practice, but it does make a beautiful airplane. And so, of course, it's kind of hard to see the detail. We're talking about your airbrush. This is the new Meister P47 or P51. Now the exhaust is airbrushed.
Yeah.
But I think they're going to upload. I sent Dino and the team a bunch of pictures, just like I did with the B25, and that'll be uploaded to the Meister site.
Okay.
But take a look at that. That used to be a Byron. So for those guys out there that like Byron, it's got, like I said, it's got the new wing, updated wing and stab that makes it more scale. So
I got a question.
I'm sorry?
I got a question.
Yeah.
When do you have time to eat or sleep?
Well, clearly I eat. I mean, come on. I've really just not been okay. Well, one, the job that I've always had in sales has never been 9 to 5. So I might be able to take a Tuesday afternoon off because I'm done with work. That I might be working a weekend from time to time. That's always been good. But I'm not one to sit down and watch TV a lot. I get bored. I'm sure my ADD and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, and believe it or not, you truly can almost build 2 airplanes at the same time that you could build one because of dry times. And so if you handle it right and you're doing something over here and you're glassing something, you got this airplane's already glassed and you can work on this plane, then you're done for some, let that dry while you're doing something over here. And I do that a lot too.
Gotcha. Well, look, man, we're going to let you get back to your family, and we have thoroughly enjoyed this, and we're going to have to do this again because
I love it. You guys are lucky because see, my lemonade was almost down.
That looks like a Smirnoff.
No, not on a Tuesday night. Goodness gracious! Y'all think I'm Catholic or something?
A fish sandwich goes with it.
No, I appreciate it, guys, and I'm going to get an internet thingy. I've been told it's called an expander thing. All I know is a couple $100, so I can do this in my workshop. I love to show
I've got the Euros in my house, and they work really great, man.
The what?
The Euros.
Okay.
And they work really good. Pick them up at Best Buy, and you get like 2 or 3 for your house. You can get one that comes with a single or 2 or 3 or whatever, and put them in different rooms, and they work great. So, but we just appreciate you, man, and we'll definitely have to do this again because we could go on all night. But everybody, it's that time of night, and I've been working all day too. So we're going to let you get at it. But thank you so much for being here with us tonight, man. We appreciate you, and we will get back in touch with you and chat and do this.
When do you think you're going to do the maiden on the 25?
I'd like to try on the 51 this last weekend, but we're having engine problems. My goal is to do both of them this weekend.
Oh,
cool. So, well, if you do, send me a video.
Yeah, send them some pictures.
Uh-oh, lost you. Freeze.
It's time to go. So.
Yeah. But yeah, if you do it, send me a video in Messenger, man. I'd love to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. And thank you guys, everybody online, for sticking around.
Absolutely, man.
Support your local people.
Absolutely. And we'll stay in touch in the chat.
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks, PJ. See you, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, fellas. Well, there you have it, man. We can sit here and talk this all night, man. I love detailing and stuff. So, but we're going to let you guys get back at it too. You guys have a great week. Get some flying in. Good weather, hopefully. It's hot. So, it's a good time to fly, you warbirds. Jets, not so much maybe, unless you're, I guess, somewhere it's not humid.
Got to do the special.
Hey, yeah, exactly. But you guys have a great week, and we will see you right back here next Tuesday night, same time, same place. See you. And that's a wrap.